Hi everybody, welcome to another video from Kel & Co. Quick recap, we're a family of 5 living in South Australia. So it's myself, my partner and our 3 children. So we've got one at school, a toddler and a newborn baby, and we also have 3 pets. So I thought I'd just jump on today and have a quick run through to have a look at March, because I've been fiddling around with it this morning and we don't have enough income. So I thought let's just jump in and have a look. So you'll see here I highlight my budget weeks just to make it really easy when I'm writing out each budget tracker. I can be like, what colour am I in? I'm doing the green week. I need to write out all the ones on the green days. So you'll see as well that our budget doesn't run sort of like from the start of the month to the end of the month. I have 7 days that roll, so it's just as it naturally falls. I think in April though, I'm going to be changing this around now that my partner's in the new job. The payday is different, so I'm going to bring it back a day, so it will start on a Wednesday and then end on a Tuesday. I'm pretty sure that's what I did moving forward. But let's just jump in and have a look. Now I know we're already into March. We're I think currently now in the green week. But yeah, I thought let's just jump in and have a look because I wanted to go through with you. We don't have enough income. What is my game plan to get us by in this situation? Now we knew that this was potentially coming, so I'm not surprised by it because we've had a massive income drop with the new job. Hopefully it will only be for this month. Next month the commissions will start getting paid. So let's just jump straight in. So this was the first budget of March where we had no income. We'd been allowing a lot of rollover during the end of February when my partner had started that new job. So, and then we had the money in redraw. So we were able to have enough in there to cover the bills and get by. Now, obviously, I never finished filling this out because we are paying this loan off. Hopefully this week it will be gone. I'm not too sure though. We're still waiting on that long service leave money to come through. But I know that would have been added in there. So we had a little bit of rollover from the end of this week, only $23. So that brings us into currently where we are. So you'll see here, and I'll zoom in now for you. Probably should have done that on the last page too, sorry. So we've had my partner's wage came in a little less, my wage came in a little less. There was a problem with my wage. That'll get fixed on the next pay run, so that'll be a little bit extra topped up in there. The paid parental leave from Centrelink, which is coming to an end at the end of March. Then we've got some other. So we had the $23 rollover. If you watched the previous video, we cracked into our coin tin. So we had $68. But then as well, I'm not sure if we will get rent come in, and I might not allow for it on this one. I'll just carry it over into the next week's budget if it does come in. There was a water pump waiting to be replaced at our investment property, so I'm not sure if they were going to do like when the work will actually get carried out and we'll have to pay the bill. Just our standard bills. Now our mortgage we pay weekly, but it actually is different each. One week it's $433, and then the next week it's $520 because we've got, the way it's set up, there's 4 mortgage accounts and 3 have weekly payments and 1 is a fortnightly or bi-weekly payment. So that's why we have that difference every second week. Childcare, now I don't know, I think it's a federal budget thing that's just passed here in Australia. The bird, it's always like one day maybe you can be quiet in there. I don't know why you're so noisy. The federal budget, I think there's been this new scheme that's just come into effect, where if you've got more than one child signed up for the childcare subsidy scheme, you get a higher percentage back. So because our eldest is still signed up with that to cover things like school holiday care, it means that our child that's going to childcare, I think that this might be cheaper now, but then also childcare have upped their rates. So we'll probably end up worse off, you know, because they put their rates up. It might not cover the extra that the government are going to top up. So this, I'm not too sure about what's actually going to happen with that. So I should get an email today. Yeah, it's Thursday here in Australia, Thursday the 10th. I should get an email today with my invoice. So that will be interesting to see what happens. Holden Finance is one of our vehicle loans. UE, that is the car insurance on the 2 vehicles. Now, I called them up the other day to say, like, hey, my partner's had a change in jobs. He's not traveling as much for work anymore. I think he does about 2 kilometers a day, or 4 kilometers round trip. And they dropped down his insurance, the monthly payment, by like 50 cents. So I was actually kind of really disgusted with the little amount that it dropped down, because with UE, you know, they are a per kilometre type insurance agency. So I've been doing some shopping around and I found another one, Woolworths, which is a like grocery chain here in Australia. They do automotive insurance, and they actually have one that is like pay by kilometre, and it's significantly cheaper. We really don't go anywhere like too extreme, especially at the moment having the newborn baby and just starting in a new job. So like we're not going on any holidays or anything like that while my partner's on his probation period. So I think for my car, which is a Holden Trailblazer, I think for a year it was like $400 and something, and currently we pay I think about $68 or $70 a month. So, you know, it's a huge difference. And then I'd probably look at using our emergency fund and just paying it for the year. So it's just another bill that we don't have to worry about each month. And then we can put that money back into the emergency fund. St. George is that vehicle loan that we're looking at. Hopefully will be paid off. This might be the last week we pay it, or potentially it'll be zero because it'll be paid off. And then Spotify. So groceries, we always do $150 a week. That seems to be a good amount for our family to cover things like pet food comes under groceries, the nappies, the wipes. And then obviously one in school, we've got to provide like a lunchbox. Then with me being home, I need sort of things I can make for lunch here. Our toddler is home 2 days a week, so she needs lunch and snacks for when she's here. Obviously the baby doesn't eat. He's still being fed by me, so he doesn't consume anything. And then my partner, obviously he needs lunches for work that he can take. We don't get we don't buy our lunches at work. We take our food. But then obviously, you know, we need to buy things for us to take if we don't have like leftovers that are appropriate, because he's in a customer sort of service role. You can't take things that are like super smelly because he doesn't want to be stinking when he's dealing with customers. Fuel prices have skyrocketed here in Australia just due to the whole global situation. So I've got $100 allocated there, and we'll see how that goes as fuel prices keep going up and up and up. I think I'm going to have to, we're going to have to talk about it here at home, and he might have to start riding his bike to work a bit more frequently, and maybe me as well, picking up the children when they're at childcare and school, walking, because it's not very far. So we might start looking at doing that more often. House, we need, if you've been following along, you know that we've needed light globes in our kitchen light now for probably like a month and a half. I feel like every video I'm like, we still haven't bought our globes. So this time we'll be getting the globes because 3 have blown. It's a stick that has like 4 little LED lights in it, and we've only got 1 left. So the kitchen's really quite dark because the window in the kitchen goes out to our outside area, which is all like iron sheeting on the roof, so no natural light actually comes through that window at all. And then medical, $20. I had a look. My last video I said that the little one had been sick and he's on antibiotics. It was $12 for the antibiotics, so the $20 covered that, and we were left with some left over. Now I had put in my budget here $100 to the emergency fund, but as you know, if you watched my video where I had spoken about what money we had in savings, I decided it was time to no longer sit on that money and we had to use it. And then the long service leave, my partner will get paid out from being in the trade industry. Now he's gone into a different industry. That long service leave, it won't carry over. So he's going to get that paid out. We were going to use that to top up the emergency fund to the 1,000 that we were goaling for. So if we just come back here, you'll see the money we had in savings, what we're budgeting in for the long service leave. We were going to top up what it needed to cover that. So, and we had already used, we'd paid off one of the credit cards. So it's really nice already, just like not having to worry about that. And now only having one credit card that we're aiming for, and it is the higher one now that we're trying to pay off and reduce down. So that'll be a bit of a process, but we'll see how we go. We'll get there. Back to school. So our eldest child goes to a private school. We just obviously made that decision due to the public school in our local area not being great from what we've heard, and a lot of the other schools in the towns nearby are zoned, so if you don't live in the catchment you can't send your child there. You have to go on a waiting list and you might never get in. So this school it's a 2-minute walk as well really from our house. So just for the future, once she gets older, you know, her being able to walk home from school and things like that, it's just really convenient, and it's a really great school. They've got really fantastic ethics, so it's something that we love as a family because it sort of aligns with our family in general. And then birthday, we've got the first birthday coming up with our kiddies in July. That's going to come around sooner than we know, so we need to start allocating some money. We had put in a bit of money previously, and she wanted to get a ballerina cake. She does dance, so she does ballet, and she wanted a ballerina cake. We do have a lady that we get to make our birthday cakes, special occasion cakes, so I've put an order in for the birthday cake, so we'll need to pay that off, but each child had $200 allocated for, you know, a present and potential birthday party fund. So that cake cost will come out of her birthday fund, but we're just rolling them all into one account because I didn't want to have 3 accounts set up for all the different kids. And we also have Christmas in that account as well. So it was originally credit card 1 that I had allowed $150 for. We've since paid that credit card off. So we'll wait and see what I decide to do with this, whether we put it to the credit card that is left owing or we don't do any to help cover that amount where we're not going to have enough to pay the bills next week. So that coin tin that we opened up, we decided we'd put that money to the credit card, and that's actually the monthly minimum on that card. So at least this month I don't have to worry about the monthly minimum now because we've covered it. So that's nice. That will leave us with a rollover of $1,171, but obviously this childcare one has the potential to change, as does this St. George car loan, $50. So we could save ourselves, who knows, $100, let's say, there, and then, you know, we'll be able to fund that extra payment to the credit card or top up more in the rollover. If we have a look now though, and we go over to the next page, Usually I write everything out in pencil to begin with, but I was like, no, like, you've got to be more confident with your budget, what you're doing, and just commit. So do it in the pen and, you know, commit to your budget. So rollover is the 1,171. If we have some rent come in on the 15th, I will add it in here, but as for the previous week, I'm not going to budget for it because I know that we've got that water pump to repair. So you'll see here we've got another UE insurance. That is the insurance on our investment property. Mortgage, it's a hire week. Childcare, again, I've just put it in as what it has been, but it is going to change. This I do know, so obviously we'll change it once we get to actual. Holden Finance is 183, that's just the weekly standard. The St. George car finance, again, hopefully we won't be paying that. AHM is our medical, hospital and extras cover. So that's for our whole family, and it includes like ambulance cover as well as the hospital and all of that. Now we're going to have to start saving up too, because the toddler is going to need to have her tonsils removed, I think, this year, because she suffers terribly. She has enlarged tonsils and just all the time getting bouts of tonsillitis. So the doctors as well, especially these days, don't like giving antibiotics too often, as then they lose the effect. The doctor also told me then, when I took the baby yesterday, he's 3 months old and already having an ear infection. She said that's not looking good for him. We'll probably be getting a referral to go see an ENT, the same one that's dealt with all of our children, and he will most likely be getting grommets put in to his ears as well. So we'll have to start maybe a little like medical sinking fund just to cover the hospital admissions and the out-of-pocket sort of co-payment amounts that the hospital cover doesn't cover. And it's generally not that much, so it won't be a lot of money we've got to save for. Then we've got Disney, which our oldest child, she enjoys watching. So considering that we don't go out and do many activities as a family, I don't feel like I need to reduce down our Netflix, Disney and Spotify accounts, because that's our children use that for, you know, their fun time. So I don't think it's fair on them for them to have to miss out on things. Groceries is the usual 150. So when I added all of these up and the groceries, that total came to 1,183. But you can see my rollover was only 1,171. So that's a difference there of, and I think it might be about $12 just looking at it, but I can't do math like quick on my feet. Yeah, $12. So, and it's funny that it's that Disney amount where I'm like, I don't want to not do that for my children, but then that's the difference that we're going to be out by. So, I mean, with the Disney, we can just not pay that, and then once we get the next pay, we can put the money in the account. I haven't checked that account to see if there's been enough built up in there yet to cover, to absorb it. That might be the case. I'm not too sure, because I do have a bank account linked with a card for the subscriptions. So that's Netflix, Disney and Spotify. We'll have to see what's in there. But yeah, as it stands, we don't have enough to cover this week. I do not want to reduce down our groceries because, again, we don't eat out often. We make all our meals here at home, like breakfast, lunch and dinner, snacks all at home. So I really don't want to reduce that down because, again, it's just not fair, I don't think, for the kids to have to suffer by not having things, you know, fresh fruit or stuff like that in the house for them to eat. Moving forward though, for the next budget, that's when we will both be paid again. I have worked one day in this new pay cycle, so I will at least be getting about $150. I don't want to overestimate again because that'll just catch us out and leave us in a bad situation. Centrelink will come in for the paid parental leave, but that is, like I said, coming to an end. The next payment will be the last one, so that will massively drop our income yet again. So I'm going to have to see what I can do work-wise to pick up some extra money there. I've got SGIC, which is, that is our caravan insurance. That will be less because I called them up and put it on a, like it's laid up, that now we won't be using it for at least 6 months. With my partner starting this new job, we probably won't be going away while he's on probation. Just don't have the time for it, and that's fine because it's coming into winter now in Australia, so we probably won't be going away that much. And if we do choose to go away for a weekend, we can just call them up and pay the difference between what it drops down to. Again, it wasn't a huge saving. It might have been like $8 or something, but I mean, it all counts. Beam is our internet. They're a regional internet provider because we are in regional SA. We've got mortgage, so that is the smaller mortgage week, the Holden Finance, childcare costs, our like life insurance that's linked with our mortgage, our power bill, the car loan, which I've still allocated for, but again that should be gone, so hopefully that'll be a zero. We're having some photos done for Mother's Day, and I'm a strong believer in, you know, I'll spend the money to get nice photos done because you never get that time back again. You know, the kids are only little once, so to me it's really important that, you know, we have photos of our family together, and I've actually invited my mother to come along so that we can get sort of like a generational photo of my mother, myself and my children, because she doesn't have any nice photos really with me or the kids, and it's a bit of a morbid thing, but I put a post up on Facebook for her birthday, and she said to me like, gosh, you could have picked a nicer photo of me. And I said, well, I don't have any. And then I joked, you know, what would I do at your funeral? I said, I don't have any nice photos to use for like a funeral photo for you, which is a bit of a morbid thing to say, but then at the same time, you know, it's just something that life happens and life ends, and you sort of need to think about that, and how do you want to be remembered, and then how will your grandchildren remember you? So I feel it's really important to have photos and things like that you know, generations to come can look back on. And then this SGIC, that is our home insurance, and this one always catches me out, so I've put it in this week's budget and the next week's budget because I've still not worked out. Every time I put down what day I think it's going to come out, it never comes out that day, so it catches me out every time. So you can see up here, sorry, our total income was going to be then $2,620. The general bills, that's $1,111. Then we'll be doing the $150 for groceries, $100 for fuel, $20 for house, $30 for medical, just to keep topping that up, because again, coming into winter, that's just when the kids get sick with the colder weather coming in. And then we've got birthday parties coming up, so we will need some presents for some other children. So this is okay. Looking at this total here, the whole total of the bills and the envelope is $1,461. That leaves us $1,159 for a rollover. I've just written on a little post-it note because I'm just, wanted to play it all out to see what was happening over the month of March, I suppose, just to make sure that, you know, I was accounting enough everywhere. Now, I've got an extra one here in March, so I'm going to do another breakdown of our savings and the long service leave again once that long service leave actually comes through. But then the end of March, you see here we've got one day highlighted purple on the 31st of March, which is going to be the new budget week. So I've put that into April because more of it falls in April, and you can see here now is where I've changed my budget days around. So looking at this one, it looks like we will, let me just find my little sticky note here. It looks like, you know, we should have enough to cover with what's going to be in the rollover of $1,159, and then this Centrelink payment of $900 is the last payment of my paid parental leave. That's coming in earlier than usual, so we'll have more than enough here to cover this week's budget. And then coming into April from now, my partner will be getting paid his commissions on what he's sold for the month of March. So I'm sure that then April will sort of be fine. I'll be able to pick up a few days at work, hopefully, and then a lot of the bills like the childcare will be less, and we won't be paying for that $50 vehicle loan. Now, we've also been looking into this Holden Finance $183 loan. We've still got, I think, about 2 years or maybe 1.5 years left on that. But the problem we have with it now is if we want to make an extra payment, there's like a $5 fee involved, and I'm really not interested in making extra payments but having a fee. So we've spoken about looking at doing a loan through our local bank that we bank with for a similar amount, so the time frame of being like 1 year or 2 years, just so that we have control of it to make extra payments. I know it's a bit silly to sort of seem to pay off one with another loan, but there's just no possible way for me to pay this down sooner with it being with this bank account that it is. Like, there is just no way for me to pay it off quicker without being punished for that. And $5, you know, that's a lot of money when you're doing a budget. I don't want to be having to pay $5 each month that I want to put extra money into it. I feel like saving up money in another account to then pay off in bulk, that's hard as well, because we can't even see the total on that currently. Like, we're just guessing at the moment to see, you know, as to what the total outstanding might be with the loan documents and trying to work it out ourselves. So we're really not sure what we're going to do with that. I'd love to hear people's opinions on it. It's sort of, I guess, in a way consolidating it, but we're not, because it will only be to cover this, and we'll be making the term either less than what's currently on the term of it naturally now, or keeping it the same, having lower payments but still paying the same amount, so it will get paid off sooner. So I know it's a bit of a touchy subject. Everyone's got a different opinion on what you should do, but I just want to take back control of this so that we can get it paid down. We are so close to getting it to the $10,000 mark, and I feel like it's really achievable for us to pay it off, because especially once our one credit card is gone, it will be our only debt that we have. So it's a lot, you know, we're able to focus truly and completely on it and smash it down, and then we'll have paid off our debt that we were aiming to pay off for this year. And I feel like it's a lot more achievable doing it that way, because you can see here now we've got this credit card. Now, this was my guesstimate as what I thought it should have been. Looking at our loan documents, there's obviously fees involved, because when we got the payout letter for it, for the beginning of March, it was actually just over $6,000. I think it was $6,012. So my calculations are out. That means these ones' calculations are probably out as well. So I guess you can say you could probably add on about $500 to it, and that would be a safe bet. But I mean, you can see here we've only got $3,700 on that credit card. It's our only credit card now, so we can, you know, fully commit to that. This will be getting paid off this month sometime, so we'll only have the two. So it's just I'm really excited. Like, nothing has changed. If anything, we've dropped our income to what it had been for like the last, my partner had been in the previous industry 13 years, and I think he'd been on the current salary sort of he was on for the last 5. You know, we've been living our life with that money for 5 years. As to like why we hadn't been able to pay these off sooner, I know me personally, I like to have the money sitting in the savings and not spending it, or spending it on the wrong things. So yeah, it boggles my mind as to what we were doing before we started our budget journey, but I'm so glad we started it now and not in 2 years, because it would have been going nowhere and the debt probably would have been increasing. So look forward to saying bye-bye to this. This one we're saying see you later, hopefully maybe this week or next week. And then this one I'm thinking of looking into rolling over into our actual a bank loan. So, and our cat has found like a cardboard box. I don't know, does anyone else have cats that like to climb in boxes and make them their own? Our cat loves that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for today. That's just a quick little overview, looking at the rest of our March, trying to work out what we're going to do with that week where we don't have enough money to cover the payments. Maybe we will just have to reduce down the grocery bill. I really don't want to do that though. Hoping that the childcare payments will come down less and that car loan will get that paid off this week and not next week. So the baby's crying as per usual. There's always somebody whinging at the end of a video. So I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much again for spending your time with me today. Bye.